Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Wedge. This is the one we are doing today. This is a it's sort of animated art. I found this on Pinterest. If you're looking for artwork, because you can be scrolling for hours, and that's what I do late at night. I scroll through Pinterest late at night looking for artwork to do for videos. I'll explain why I picked this picture while we're airbrushing. So I'm just going to chat to you while we're doing the airbrushing, and I'll explain why I picked this picture. It's quite a funny little story. So the pieces we are using today, we've got this paper. I'll pop it up on the screen now. This is what I'm using at the minute. You get this in packs. Leave a link to this in the description. I'll try my hardest to leave all the links that I can in the description, because people have been saying, oh, there's no links, there's no links. When people watch the video, they're just watching like an hour-long video, but that hour-long video has took me a 12-hour day to get together. So it's an hour of painting, but it's 12-hour whole day to get the video and that up for you guys. So I'm sort of, by the end of it, I'm just putting my feet up and chilling out and spending a bit of time with my wife. And that's why I'm not getting everything in on the links. So I do apologise if I'm missing links for you lot. The size of this piece we're working on, because people did mention in yesterday's video what sort of size paper are you working on. This one, I blew it up to 290mm square. So that's the size of the image, and I've just put a bit of masking tape around it because the actual image had a box frame around it which cuts part of the hair off the shoulders out. So I just framed it with a bit of masking tape. We can demask that at the end. Bits that we're using today, there's a few other little techniques I'm going to show you along the way. So really cool little techniques that you can use when we're coming to do the hair. Paint, we're using FW Inks Sepia mixed with isopropanol and water. We've got 2 drops of the ink to around 25 drops, I think it is, of isopropanol and a few drops of water. So it's a very washed out mix. You've not got to absolutely copy the mix that I use. Just, it's trial and error, guys. I just sort of chucked a bit in, mixed it, went to the side, see how it's spraying, because I'm running low pressure. We're running 5 or 6 psi. I want it to be really, really thin. So just either add a little bit more water or a little bit more isopropanol, and then just test it. If you get that nice flow and that nice sound with the airbrush, you're good to go. Image, working off the tablet like yesterday, so I can pinch and pull where we're moving around on the image. Other things that I wanted to just sort of run by you is application tape. I did mention this yesterday on the video about transfer tape that you could use, and you could cut out all the pieces to make it sharp. Now this is application tape. I will leave a link. I won't leave a link. Your best bet for this is eBay. Just go on to eBay, type in transfer tape, sign makers tape, and this will come up. You'll see it on the images. It will just be in rolls like this. You can get it in different sizes. This is a 200mm roll. Yeah, that one's 200mm. The beauty of this is it's paper. It's sort of a very sort of flexible-ish paper, a bit conforming. You can stick it to what you're working on like this. It's a bit like Friskets, but I'd say better. And it works out cheaper. It's a paper one that you can just put on your piece like that. You can see through it. So I could now draw back over the eyes like this, just roughly. You could draw over the eyes, then you can just peel this off your piece, chop that out, and then you could locate it back, and you can use it as a nice shield masking for when you're spraying. So great product to get hold of, guys. eBay, your best bet. That's covered that. Airbrush, we are on the Evo. Can't put it down at the minute. It's brilliant. Cannot wait for the new Infinity to come out. People have been asking questions about, oh, when's the Infinity? Do you know when it's coming out? I've seen the brush. When I went to Hardware Steam, I've tried some things that are going to be on the Infinity, and all I can say is, guys, if you are looking for a detailed brush and you are sort of waiting, it's worth the wait. It really is going to be worth the wait, because I've tried some of the bits on it and I cannot wait, because I know how this performs. This performs brilliant, it really does. Absolutely loving the Evo at the minute, really am. Cannot put them down. The reason why I'm always banging on about H&S at the minute is I started with them from the start and I sort of veered off onto different brands, because you know I've got loads of different brushes, and coming back to these, it's like that nostalgia's back, and it's just giving me that buzz again for airbrushing, because I started with these brushes when I first sort of got onto it, and like started with the Evo, we moved on to the Infinity, and I loved it. And coming back into the new 2024 range with their new added features that they're putting on their brushes, you can't beat them, you really can't. So that's the brush we're using. I'll talk you through as we go along bits that I'm using and things as we go along. So we'll move in a little bit closer and we will start wedgie. See you in a minute. Right guys, first thing, always test your brush with a little bit of water first. I did give this a clean out yesterday and I just want to double check it. So that's running clean. I did give it a blast through. Always blast your brush through when you finish, unless you're in your studio the next day and you've got a cap for your brush. You can just put your cap on. That will sort of save your paint from drying up. Now, drop a little bit of paint in and then go straight to the side of your paper. And give it a little test. Working really well. Soft shading, that's what we want. We're running, I got 22 on the main line. Someone did put a comment up about the Mac valve. And it was like, I didn't reply because I read it and I thought, what? What are you on about? We've got 22 PSI coming on the main line. So if this valve is opened all the way up, that's 22 PSI. So when you turn this in, no air. So now you're bringing that air pressure up and just changing the flow. 22, and then we're dialing it back. So these do work. So we've got the paint mix, nice. Brush is flowing really well. Shields we've got to use on this. I've got the ones we used yesterday, so we've got the Melee ones, my old faithfuls that I always pick up. And we're going to start on the eyes. I'm just going to move this around a bit. So like yesterday, just puff a bit of paint in. Work off your shield and just go around nice and light and just build the layers up. Just puffed a little bit of painting around the eyes. Just taking your time. So the story behind why I am painting this today. When I was at school, probably around about, I don't know, 7 or 8, I seen a kid get wedged and these older lads picked him up, pulled his pants from the back of his trousers and hung him on a gate post, and his face looked like that. And when I was scrolling through Pinterest, this popped up and it just gave me a flashback to that episode. So if the person is watching this video, I feel your pain. So that was the reason why I picked this today. So we're just working a little bit around the tops of these eyes, darkening it off. This paint's really flowing nice today. The studio's a little bit warmer, so the top of the brush, the actual trigger, don't feel cold. So a little bit more comfortable to work. We've got another line here, so I'm just going to put that in. That one's just above, using the shield. Shields are brilliant to work with, they really are. You've probably seen me in previous videos where I've just like permanently got one of these as I'm working and I just move it in. I've permanently got it in my hand like that. You can just work with these all day long, they're brilliant. And we'll start to just get this eye in. I will be making my own set of these very soon, of shields. There's a few things that I'm going to do. It'll be a pack of shields on Mailare that will be cut like a portrait pack. It will come with the tip tool, so no more tip dry guys, no more struggling pinching the front of your brush. It'll be a little Dred Effects pack with the tip tool, shields, and then eventually I'd like to get my own paint out, so my own brand of paint would be nice. But that's stuff that's going to be coming up, won't be yet. I'm just going to go freehand in here and just do this centre part of the pupil around here. Just do a pass on that. These are going to go a lot darker and we can sharpen this up. And we're going to just do some nice little dagger strokes coming in, just to get some details in these eyes. Working from the darker edge of that eye, because the edge of this eye is darker, so I'm just going to flick out from that side and come across. You can always start the stroke of your dagger stroke from the darkest part if you're coming inwards. Always think of that when you're going around your piece as well. If you're doing your hair and you're coming across, you can always start in the darkest part and work your way out to the lightest. This isn't mirror matched to the image, I'm just doing my own sort of pattern on the eye coming in. And you've got these pieces here, these are where the highlights are in the eyes. Don't worry if you get overspray on these, because we're going to Posca paint pen them later. So don't worry about your highlight bit in the eye, we can drop that in later on. I've got the heater coming across again, so it will tip dry up. The reason why I've got that coming across my back is still bad. I've got loads of work that needs to be done for customers, but at the minute sitting in a chair doing this is quite comfortable. So I've got the heater with warm air coming across. So back round the edge, just darken this up again. Work your way around. nice and light. This is going to go a lot darker, just building it up. And that's the beauty, as I said yesterday, of working with these. I'm really liking these sort of single colour, because you can just keep working it and working it. And building it up darker and darker. Minimal trigger, finding where the paint is and just moving with the brush. And then just to fill that centre in, just back off slightly, rock your trigger, bring your paint on and off, and just overlap your paint and move with the brush. So you're basically overlapping like that and getting a consistent pass. So that's the first pass on the eyes. We're going to drop a little bit across here and just shadow round them like that, just to sink them back a bit. Go a little bit darker on here. Just sharpen that up. Like that. So that sharpens the eyes up. These will pop even more because they're going to go darker. This is the pass. Just drop the eyelashes coming out. Little flicks from the dark. So you're working from the dark bit I've just put in, starting there and flicking away. There's some little ones down here. Darken that one up because that's like a crease. We've got another one on this eye here. Just a little one in here. So as I said at the beginning, really digging the Evo. What I like about the H&S brushes are the trigger response is brilliant, they're really comfortable, they're easy to clean, and they're the easiest brush to strip down. And that's what you want. You've got no little silly spanners involved with H&S brushes. You can just take them apart with your hands. You can see all the bits, they're not that tiny that you're going to misplace them. And they just work. So we're just dropping this toning round the eye here. We've got a lighter one on the other side. Dagger stroke again, backing off. We're about 5 or 6 inches away. Very light, minimal trigger. On and off with your paint, so you're getting the soft edge, soft edge. Puffing paint in round the picture, coming round that jaw, just on here. This is where I'm dropping the paint now. Coming round. I'm not worrying about any paint over going on here because the paint's going to hit here and there's going to be overspray, but it's going to be very minimal. And this is darker, so whatever bounces across to this, it doesn't matter. Working round the bottom of the chin, coming up this side, and this bit goes darker, so you can do a pass back off and just keep layering it up, coming into the bit here, so it's dark here. So don't go for full dark. As you can see there, people tend to see that and go, right, blast it really dark quick and put a big dark patch. So just build it up, put a pass in. That comes up here. So I'd leave it like that for now, and we can add. You can always add paint. Bit under that eye. Tone in here. I'm going to put a very light tone all over the face because it's going to go darker. Drop that crease in a little bit more. Just fade off up there, just literally going very soft. Look at your image. Drop onto the nose. I always tend to start with the darkest part on the nose. And just drop that bit in. Freehand. I'm basically doing a little circle and then building up to the actual shape. We've got a little bit of a coming up there. A little bit there. Coming over the nose. Got a little bit here, down the side of the mouth. You're just puffing very light bits of paint in and just sort of building the shapes up. Roll that off round there, so just angling the brush that way a bit. Coming back up this side, we'll put a bit more paint in here. A little slightly bit darker here. We need to roll this crease out at the bottom of the eye. There's another one there. There's a little bit under that eye there. Alright, we'll just drop the eyebrows in. Now this image, yesterday's image, on the eyebrows, on the grumpy kid, they were just like very soft lines. This has got some sort of like a hair texture in, so we're just going to follow the shapes, little dagger strokes, and this at the tail end goes to a solid colour, but I'm not going to go solid straight away. I'm just going to build it up. And then do a light pass over that, and we can go back over this. This is like the first pass. Same this side, there's some very light hair strokes here. Little dagger strokes. A little bit of tip dry. Test it to the side again. Little dagger strokes, putting them real fine hair textures in. Right, I've had a little pause. You can see I've dropped the whites, the dots on the eyes. Now, all I did for that is Posca paint pen, guys. They work really well, and just went over and just popped them highlights out in the eyes. Just put them in place. And that really pops the eyes. Done a little bit on the inner of the eye here, a little bit of white just at the tips, a little bit at the bottom. We can go in with the eraser and just now knock out any of the unwanted lines. This will just soften it up again. Now I know where them key features are, where I've airbrushed, I can just take them out. And it just puts that softness in it again, and just takes them lines out. This is just a real soft, cheap eraser, very soft. You can see that. Came in a pack, there were like £1 for a pack of 4 or 5 erasers. If you're from the UK, it's a place called B&M. They're in there. And they just work really well on this, just for knocking back that pencil line. So I'd probably advise do this once you've got your sort of first tones down, so all your key points are in place, and then you can just knock these back. Like that. That just takes that little edge off of it. That'll do. Right, we can continue on. We will work down to the mouth. Well, we'll work on the ears next. Let's have a look at these ears. Just going to drop a bit of paint in. Just puff in a little bit of paint. Shield. Just on these bits. And in here. separate this edge from his face. And we've got the hair sort of starting here, so I'm just going to drop a little bit of that in, darken that out, up the side here. With the hair textures it's going to be the same again. I've got the pencil line shapes, but I'm going to put my own sort of pattern in, but it will look like yesterday. You haven't got to mirror match when it comes to hair textures, you really haven't. Because once it's all together and you stand back and look at the image, it'll look like what you've been painting from reference. Bit on the bottom, just flicking away from the shield. Hair textures coming out, just little dagger strokes. Shield again because I don't want to get any on the bottom of that ear. Flicking away. Just hold it up to the side. Little roll off the bottom of that ear. A little bit darker on that. Coming up. So you're just basically concentrating on, and this is what I mean by when you look at the whole portrait, it's overwhelming looking at the whole thing going, oh no, but we're basically just working on this. So forget that, you're just working on this area here. That's the beauty of the tablet, you can just move into where you want. Well, we're going to work on the eye, work on the mouth, and you can just move it to where you want. And it makes your life a lot easier looking at something. Dagger strokes again. As I say, the majority of your airbrush strokes are these. It's the main one. It's dagger strokes and moving with the brush and going up to things and pinpoint. Right, that's that bit, and we'll just concentrate on this side. While we're working up here, we'll just get this in now. Build a bit of colour up. This is what I mean by when you're going dark on your hair, then you see how lighter this next piece is. We'll just work a bit of hair in. follow the shapes. That will do for that bit. I'm just going to hit this back with an eraser, just knock out these bits. Them unwanted bits. That will do. Let's tidy that up. We can work and come down to the mouth. We'll just drop this piece in here, right, nice and light on this. Working round, a little bit on this bottom lip, a little bit here. A little bit darker here. Coming in. Around here. Just tone this back a bit. Darker on here. Coming up here. And just going nice and light again, going sort of back over. Now drop this hair in here, we can really knock that back. And this hair patch will go a bit darker around here. Right, we're going to be moving on to this other ear. I've just had a little pause, made myself a cup of tea. Okay, we're just going to drop a bit of paint in around here. Just shield that part of the face off. Like that. Right, a little bit on the bottom of the ear. Just drop a bit of paint in. Dust it in. It's always an awkward side to me when I'm filming because I've got the camera just here. I want to be moving over slightly to work this way. I'm trying to work on an awkward angle here. A little bit dark around there. Just drop a bit more paint on this side of this face. A little bit of hair coming off the side of this, just put a few little dagger strokes in there. A little bit here. Up close, minimal trigger. Just work that dark in. Tone down his face a bit here. Here as well. That is quite a line here. I'm just lifting the shield just slightly away. And bouncing off that shield. To give it sort of not a real sharp edge, but just a softer sort of line. To bring that line up, because we've got that line on the face coming up, and then when we drop the dark now underneath that piece here, it'll just give it that separation. Just a bit of painting. I'm not worried about any overspray going on this top because that has got a few little textures in. A little bit darker here. And just goes darker under this chin. That will do for that bit. Got a little dark crease in here. And then just bring that shield down. Just there. Right in here. So that's this piece here done. Gonna go in with the eraser and just knock out these bits with where the ear is now. And we can come back in and just bring them back out very lightly. Put the bit of hair in round above the ear. And that'll just make the top of that ear pop out. And we will just do a little pass there. Drop some, sharpen this up, drop a dark in here. Just get the side of that face in. Just start working the shapes with the hair now. I'm going to show you some little techniques with the hair as well which you can use, which come in really handy. Especially for bits sort of like here. Get some wire, bend some wire and then just spray through and it will give you them textures. It can give you them real sharp textures and put just different effects for hair. Just strip some wire back and bend it to the shape of your hair and just spray over it. So you could hold it like this and spray through and then just build up with your hair. Works really well. Just doing random shapes, sort of following my guidelines, light passes, working over, and then just doing some closer up ones, backing off, closer up techniques, and just build them up. Once you get your dagger stroke technique down, you can whiz through hair. Unless you're doing full-on realistic hair where you're building it and then you're doing like the scratch back. But it's the same sort of thing. You could be doing this on like a gesso paper and you could be scratching back and then toning that scratch back down, then going back over and just building it up. Working around this top piece, and we're going to take all these unwanted lines out in a minute. on and off the trigger, fast movements, just bouncing that trigger. You can go in with the shields as well if you want to give it some real tight curves. Got some tip dry going on. Little clean blast to the side. Nice and quick. Get this hair blasted in and get it down. Just follow your shapes. You've got your guidelines there to go from, and just go light, dark, build the layers up. Right, we'll just go over with the eraser and just knock out some of these. Now we've got this sort of main pass down. Get rid of some of these lines. Then we can just work off this and build the hair back up. Right, now we can go back in and just as I say, it's not got to look, you've not got to mirror match it. As long as you've followed most of the shapes, it will look like the reference. I mean, I'm going different ways on this compared to, but a lot of it I'm following the shapes. I'm just going dark, lighter, so it sort of sets the hair, brings it forward, takes it back. Just do some real fine whispery bits coming out. Like that. Do a couple across here. Drop shadow that one. A little bit here. Drop in there. Get this darkened out here a bit now. Really darken, set that back. When you knock these edges back, just makes the face pop a little bit more forward. You just sink this hairline back. Little bits out here, just curling round. I think that will do for the hair. Little, not that tone back there, just drop a bit of painting. Right, I think that'll do for the hair. Nice and quick, just work your shapes. I'm going to go back over this eyebrow and just drop a little. Darken that slightly, just fog over it, just make it a little bit darker. Take that a bit further up, probably drop a little tone more in there, sharpen that up. Then we can start just darkening the mouth off. Just do a pass again in there. A bit on that ear. A little bit darker in here. A bit on the side of the face. That's darker. A bit more of a tone in here. Right, we're going to be working on the bottom half now, the t-shirt. So we've got that bit in. We're going to start working down on this bit of t-shirt, nice and quick. We're just going to get the painting on this. So we'll start over here. Just finish this piece off. So shield. I'm just going to get the paint in. Little bit on that crease. Where's the other shield gone? Right, just working this over. Do this crease line. Coming down. Get some colour in. Just shield off his face there. A little bit of a shield here. Darker in here, working down. You're just basically just looking at where them darks are and get it the best you can to the reference. It's not going to be, as I say, perfectly mirror matched. Just sort of nice quick passes with this. Got a little bit overspray going on, but I'm going to tone the back of this down because the actual image has got like a toned off around the edge. We're not going to go pure white, we're just going to knock that back. So I don't mind whatever overspray goes on the outer. Right, parts of the t-shirt just going to go in. And just do this proper random. the paint in. A little bit around the front. Just creating my own textures in this. Just flicking the trigger. Creating some random shapes. You can get quite lost when you're following things like this, especially lines. So that's why I'm just doing it random. It probably won't be the same, but a little bit down here. Bounce some colour in. Right, we'll whiz the shoulder strap out. For this one here. We're out of paint. And I've just spilt a lot of the paint all over myself. Right, test your brush again. Little bit of tip dry. And we'll just go straight in. You need to roll it over this top edge. Just hold the shield up. Over here, just bring that down. Shield this bit, just bounce that up there. Little bit here, bounce away from the shield. Bit more in here, tone these down a bit. Didn't hit the lines bang on then. It's because I'm working, I'm trying to give you plenty of room for the camera, I don't want to block the camera. But you can go over, you can cover some mistakes up, you really can, you've not got to worry about getting everything perfect. Quickly buzz this bit out. Darker on here. Tone that back a bit. Roll that edge over there a bit. Just flicking the trigger, bringing that over. Just give that a little. That little bit darker here. Coming in. Right, just drop a little bit of colour on these and we can just knock the pencil lines out. Give that a little erase. And then we can go back in and just tidy some bits up. But we're not far off. Quite quick one. I don't know how long this one's been. I've not checked what the camera's saying. We'll go back in a minute and just darken some bits off. Just knock these unwanted lines off. Right, let's have a little. Let's drop a little bit of paint in. I'm not going too detailed on the t-shirt. Some a little bit darker in here. A bit more paint on that. A little bit darker on this edge. And here. A bit darker here. We're not far off, guys, we're not far off. I reckon we're about there. Could have gone a little bit more on the t-shirt, but I think we'll do it that. Just going to dust a little bit around the outside. Just going a little bit around here. Some little sharper hair textures. Bit more on the eyes, really sink them back. I think we will do, might just pop this mouth a little bit more with the shield. Sharpen it up. That's better. Yeah, I think we're about there. You can keep working it and working it. You really can. Let's do some strands coming around there. Nice. That'll do. Right, I think we're done, guys. We got it done. Quite a simple one, really. Working round. You've seen how I sort of broke the image down. We started in the eyes. We sort of built the eyes up, and then sort of started to tone in the face. Could have done a lot more here, but your main focal point on this picture is here. It's the eyes that just draws you in, and then we could have detailed this out more, but I think that's enough. That nice softness of this with this, and then the eyes that are nice and sharp with the bright highlights, just brings you into the face. Sharpened the mouth up there, and it's come out really well. So I hope you enjoyed the video and picked some bits up along the way. Paint, FW Inks Sepia. We used a Posca paint pen. I dropped a little bit on the bottoms of them two teeth there, just a little dotted there. Dropped them on the eyes, so Posca paint pen. Maylair shields, you can make your own. Use the application tape as well. Grab hold of some of that, guys, because it really does come in handy. If you're struggling with airbrushing real sharp things like this and you're not really confident holding shields yet, just get your application tape, project your image up, and then just drop a piece of application tape. I've literally got a piece here because I was going to do this. I've got a piece with the jawline ready to go in the eyes, and then I cut the eyes out separate, but I didn't use them in the end. But you can do that if you're not that confident on getting up with a shield. You can just drop your mask on, spray, move a piece away, spray, and do it that way. It'll make it easier. But I went about it with shields because I'm so used to using shields. Brush, as I say, can't fault it. The Evo, absolutely love it at the minute. Works brilliant. Little bit less tip dry in this video because I've turned the heater off, so I've not got the warm air coming across. And as I say, if you've got pencil lines, it's working really well with this paper because you can just go over and just knock them back once you've got your bit down. Once you've got your artwork down, some of the lines you can take out. Some artists like to see the lines in the work. I've left lines in my work from time to time. But on this piece in this colour, I like them just knocked off because it's the grey sort of graphite pencil. I just like to take them out. But it's entirely up to you, your preference. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel and you are liking this content, click that subscribe, press the notification so you don't miss out on any more up and coming videos, because there's going to be loads of ones like this coming up where I'm talking you through. Drop your comments. I'll try and find the link to this if you wanted to paint it. I'll put it in the description. Link to the new Evo will be there. The other bits you can source, as I say, the application tape, eBay, guys. Shields, Maylair shields, if you wanted airbrush shields, eBay. Your best place to source things like that from. So thanks again. See you in the next one.